Hi, everybody. I am so happy to be sitting down today with John Mosley. You know John as at popular_nobody. John is the 2019 Barber Educator of the Year. So he's an artist and educator. He's also the founder and CEO of the Popular Nobody brand. We're going to talk about that later. He's really a leader in our space, but I want to ask him about being a leader, but the social handle that you started with was Popular Nobody, which really sort of, it's like you took the attention off yourself by using that handle, and but conversely, you like were able to start this whole brand around it. So tell us a little bit, John, just about why you even chose that as your handle and your brand name.
So thank you, first of all, for allowing me this platform and opportunity to just sit down and have a conversation with you. I know you've always supported me as an artist and always wanted to spotlight me. So I appreciate you more than you know. And so for me to choose the Popular Nobody handle, it was because when you look at what goes on in our industry and you look at people picking their names to brand themselves on Instagram, it's to brand themselves on Instagram and nothing past that. It's only for that current moment of what this platform is. And you got to think about all social platforms. MySpace disappeared. Instagram too will disappear at some point. It was another platform. What was it? Periscope tried and it didn't work. And so it's like, for me, I started out in the industry as the Barber JM, but then I was putting myself inside of a box where I was only speaking to a small portion of the world. And everybody is born with greatness in them. But through life and through situation, greatness is pulled out of us in different ways. And so if you know that you have that greatness in you, you don't want to set yourself up for being average in that. And so when I looked at the Barber JM, I said, I have to change this because what I plan to do, it possibly is going to be bigger than just being a barber. And so one day, I was doing some hair and one of my boys called and he was like, man, your work is everywhere, all over the billboards and everything. He was like, you're kind of like a popular nobody. And I was like, there it is. That's it right there.
Really, what a great story. That's terrific. One of the things I wanted to talk to you, we're gonna talk as long as Zoom will allow us, but I had the pleasure of meeting your mother years ago, and I want to know about how you got into the profession. Like, what made choosing beauty as a career look good to you? What did you see that looked appealing?
Honestly, I didn't want to be in the beauty industry. Through my family history, my mother's, my sisters, uh, you know, cousins, aunts, like my whole family background is hair. And so for me, I was like, I didn't want to do it as a kid growing up. I played sports, and I think that's what most uh, kids think. They want to be LeBron or they want to be this nowadays. And it's like, and so for me, I thought, okay, I had three different careers in mind: architect, firefighter, and sports. That's was the only three I had in my mind. That's what I spoke of. And then I got tired of getting hit by grown men for free playing college football. And I made the joke, well, I made a lie and told my mom that I wanted to be a barber. And 3 days later, I was enrolled in barber school.
Oh, really? So you said it, so you had to follow through.
Yeah, it was one of those things where I said it because I thought she would be happy because she's in the industry, my whole family's in there. So I thought if I say that, it will buy me enough time to figure out really what I wanted to do in life. And it bought me 3 days.
And what did those early days look like? I mean, everybody goes back, and sometimes it's hard to remember when you were first, dealing with clients, first doing your first cuts. What were some of those early experiences you had?
Honestly, I didn't like school. I didn't like barber college for the first 6 months. And part of it was because of my attitude, because I lied in the first place. I didn't want to be there. So my attitude and my energy reflected that. when I was there. I thought it was dumb. I thought it was stupid. And why do I have to be here? Like, I didn't really want to do this. And then one day I showed my mom my work, and she said, son, if you actually took the time and energy and put something into this, you might be pretty good at it. And I think that was the conversation I needed to hear. And it switched my thought process, switched everything. And I just dove in really deep. When I was in barber college at the time, we had to finish with 750 haircuts to pass our clinic floor. So for me, I ended up with over 2,000 haircuts by the time I graduated.
I like that, having your mother give you that sort of extra nudge and encouragement, because we'll talk about it later, but that sort of has become your life's work, really, is kind of giving people that encouragement and that push too, you know, that we all need that little nudge. Well, you went from there to really, like you talked about, first sharing your work on social and then developing your own brand. Because now, you know, we see the Popular Nobody team, we see the Popular Nobody shirt and hat and education platform. And, oh, there we go. All right. So talk about that a little bit, because, you know, again, like you said, you didn't want this to just be a moment, kind of a periscope. You wanted to build something that was going to have a lasting impact. What was your thought process when you first started that?
When I started the Popular Nobody brand, it was honestly just a thought. You know, I didn't think I was going to be doing what I'm doing and have accomplished now, but I knew I wanted to be great. And so I had people reaching out to me, and that was looking at me as I traveled through the Paul Mitchell Network and through the schools to get they're calling me to be a mentor. And then I started realizing, like, I do have an impact on people's lives. And so I started with one artist. And from that one artist, it just kept getting bigger and bigger. And then the first artist picked another artist and said, hey, bro, we need to look at this person. And then we needed to look at this person. And so it just started building. And what you see now is not just a team, you see a family. We talk to each other every day. We're multicultural. I tell everyone, I feel like we're the underdogs, but I'd rather go to war with 20 underdogs because I know what they're willing to do to survive, because they've already gone through a lot. And so that's what happened. And we talk, we communicate to each other every day. We have Zoom calls all the time, every Thursday night, you know, and we spread our Popular Nobody love into the world. Our Zoom calls are open to anybody who want to join, because it's like, we want to build a community. You know, you have a hair brand community, and I'm a part of their community as well. But, you know, why not have a Popular Nobody community and spread our love? And, you know, it started out more so as a mentor opportunity for me to give back and mentor others. And now we turned it into something totally not different, because we still mentor, but we just turned the volume up on it and started increasing what we put out.
That's great. And how many did you say are on your team right now?
20.
20 on your team. So sticking to sort of talking about your career, because I want to go into later also talking about your foundation. What have been some of your career highlights? And I know that you have had in your career, you don't make a real big deal about it, but you've had some really high profile clients as well. So yes. Talk about some of your kind of career highlights and maybe some of your favorite client moments.
Honestly, some of my career highlights will be writing the barbering curriculum for Paul Mitchell. As recent, being named the brand ambassador for Paul Mitchell. And then turning over and representing multiple companies that all are high respected companies in the industry, and being able to build and sustain my company. You know, I think so many people nowadays, they look to invest money in other places, but never realize that you're going to always be your biggest investment and your biggest project. And so just being able to identify that And I think for me more so too is just the fact that I've been able to help 20 artists, help their family, and give them opportunities to do things off of the name of Popular Nobody brand. I think for me, those are really the highlights. And you know, I do have a high end celebrity clientele, but I don't really boast and brag about it on social media because I don't want to send the wrong message. I'm not here to be a celebrity barber. I'm here to be a barber. I'm here to be a father. I'm here to be an influencer in the right way, because I feel like so long the influencer word in our industry has been taken so out of context. You rather look at somebody that has, you know, 500,000 followers and tell me that this guy is more valuable than the next person? No. So if I have 70,000 followers, I'm going to influence, because that's what my life's been about from the jump. I didn't need a company to tell me I was an influencer. As a barber coming into this industry, you're an influencer. As a hairstylist coming into this industry, you're already an influencer. If you're a husband, if you're a wife, you're a mother, you're a father, you're an influencer. So you don't have to sit back and wait for somebody to give you a paycheck to tell you what you're doing is right. You just got to do what's right and continue to do that and believe and stand firm on what you believe when given the opportunity. And I think for me, that's been the highlights. I make all my celebrity clients friends of mine. Why? Because I don't look at you as a celebrity. You're a human first.
And doing what's right. Let's talk a little bit about your foundation, because that seems to be the next logical step sort of in your advancement and progression with the brand. So, and I'm just learning about this myself. So just describe it. Tell me all about it.
So the Nobody Way Foundation was a foundation that I felt was the next step in the Nobody brand. You know, we always think about ideas. We always talk ideas with inside our company, with the team, and you know, and outside influences. And this was a conversation I started 2 years ago, but I wasn't in the mindset. I wasn't in the place. I wasn't in a financial place to have these conversations and or to like kind of see this thing come to true life. And so I kind of been putting it on the back burner, but I never lost sight of the conversation. I never lost sight of the vision of it, because I knew it needed a place in this industry and in this world in general. And so we played with a lot of different names, and like Popular Nobody, I just sat back and said the Nobody Way, because for so long, not just me, but everybody in this world was told at some point that you couldn't do something. You're not going to be something. A lot of us in this beauty industry was told this was a dumb mistake and we shouldn't be in this industry. It's not going to make no money. And so for me, I'm living and walking proof through my mother history in this industry, my sister's history in this industry, that you can do it. You just got to do it your way. And you got to be okay with whatever comes with doing it your way. And so for me, it was the Nobody Way Foundation that stuck out. And, you know, we're looking to give people an opportunity to get in the, you know, fashion, or get into the beauty schools, get into the barber schools, get into a trade, but not even that, just getting into the community, giving back to the communities, because as we see what's going on in our world right now, it's craziness. You know, it's craziness, and it's just not unjust. It's all the way through, from education to the community. And we have to then, in order to see the change, we got to be the change. And that's what I'm hoping this foundation message relays. Our mission is to serve the humble and hungry with a tenacity type of style.
I always think of barbershops and salons as like the heart of a community, and that so much gets done there. You know, barbershops, there's blood pressure screenings. You know, salons, there's fundraisers, and you kind of bridge both those worlds, because you're unique in that you have, you know, you can play in both gyms, you know, like you're barber and Cosmo, right?
No, I'm actually, it's funny, I'm a barber, but I tell people I'm a barber with a cosmetologist finish. And, you know, and I just see it different. I see the business side of it. I see, you know, when I create my art, I'm looking at it from an artistic eye, from the way I shoot my photos to how I lay everything out. I want my images to tell a story, not just look at how cool I am cutting hair. And when you look at my Instagram, that's what I purvey. Like I sometimes I tell my captions, it has nothing to do with the actual image you're looking at, but it might talk about what's in the background because it's a story in every photo. And I think that's why so many people think I'm a cosmetologist, because you can see me do so many different things. I'm well diverse with shear work. I'm well diverse with clipper work. I'm razors. I could do whatever. You put me in a room and put me in the stage or wherever you see me fit, I can make it work.
Did you see yourself, I mean, when you kind of were given 3 days to decide about going to barber college, did you have an idea of what that was going to look like, or you just figured it out along the way and now you're going to be able to kind of direct other people on that same path?
I'm still figuring it out every day I wake up. I did not see it, but I knew one thing, that I was going to be a great leader in whatever field I chose. And I didn't choose it. It chose me. My mother helped put me in this position. And so I just got to own up to just being a true leader and still staying, on task.
Yeah. And kind of on that same theme of leading and being an influencer, having influence in your community, we're having a lot of difficult discussions right now about how the industry, the professional beauty industry, the salon industry, has maybe come up short. And, we can cast the net wider and go out to the world at large and talk about that as well. But within our industry, I know you're having a lot of conversations, and people are going to look to you because they're going to want to know, what are you thinking? What have you had to jump over to get to where you are, that you had to jump higher than anybody else? But also, what do you think we need to do moving forward?
I definitely have had to jump higher than some. I feel like, and I'm gonna just speak personally for myself, I feel like people look at me and say, oh, he's good enough to have a voice at the door, but he's not good enough to have a seat at the table. And the only reason is because you're looking at my talent, but you never sat down and had a one-on-one conversation with me. You don't understand the vision that I have, not as just an African-American male, but as a father, as a husband, as a leader in this industry. Don't just look at my talent, because if you ask me, my greatest talent is leadership. But my lesser talent in my greatest talents, are haircutting. Haircutting is the vehicle that I drive this message through. And so for me, it's like, yeah, I've dealt with every form of racism and all of that in this industry. And I'm not gonna blast nobody, and but I've dealt with it, and I still deal with it to this day. But the difference is with me is, I looked at that and said, I'm gonna show you better than I could fight you, or better than I could tell you, that I deserve everything, because I'm gonna do it through hard work. I'm gonna do it through effort. I'm gonna do it through energy. So now when the question comes up is, why is he not in a position? I don't have to answer that. I've answered all those questions. I hit all those check marks already through the work, through the body of the work that I'm putting in. Now as a company, you have to answer that. Mm. And I think some people just don't have that mentality. And I think some of us in our mind, we let that turn our anger and we leave the situation. But in order to see the change in any situation, you have to be in it to change it. So if I got mad and I just left, it's not going to change anything. They just got what they wanted. They got the person out they wanted. So now that person's no longer in the conversation. But if I stay in and I keep outworking the people that you put in front of me, the people that you say is better than me, and if I keep showing you, I have my own table. I have the popular nobody table. It's set. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner will continue to be served. But I want to sit at your table to let you know that it's other people like me that deserve this spot too. They might not have the opportunity to serve their own table, but they can do great justice inside of your company at this table. And that's how I look at it. I don't represent just me and the Popular Nobody brand and my team members and my artists that choose to work with the brand. I represent everybody, no matter what color your skin tone is. And my voice is my voice for a reason. And I'm gonna just speak to what's fair and what's right. And it's a lot of unfairness that I've seen in this industry, even, you know, at shows. People look at you and turn their head like they don't see you. And that ignorance, it lights a fire in me to speak to that person directly, because your lack of wanting to get to know somebody is why the world is where we're at right now.
You're a father, so what kind of conversations do you have with your children around this?
I just tell my son, he's out right now playing with 2 Caucasian kids, blonde hair, blue eyes, and they're all the same age, but my son is almost 6 feet at 13 years old. He got he plays football. He has a build. You know, my daughters are beautiful. You know, and I just tell them all the time, you can't worry about what somebody else think of you. You just can't give them a reason to say something negative about you. You have to keep doing you. You have to worry about you. And if you have a disagreement, as long as you address it respectfully, there's nothing you're not in the wrong, you know. And I just tell my son, and you know, when it comes to his schoolwork, son, make sure that you do everything possible to do your work the right way. I said, if you go to school every day and you give it 100% effort, and your 100% effort gets you a B, I'm totally fine with that. But I'm not going to put pressure on you to be a straight A student. I didn't like school, so how can I put that on you? And you have more distractions now with the world than we had. So just maintain who you are, be who you are, love who you are, and let the rest fall in place. And if you feel like it's something out of hand, address it the proper way.
So John, you know, we'll keep talking to you, following you, watching you. As you kind of build out the Nobody Way Foundation, because I know that this has been a crazy time to try and launch anything or to, you know, put something out there, but you've been working on it for a couple of years. It's in the hopper. So how can we can follow that on your platforms? You'll keep updating us and talking about us at Popular Nobody?
Oh yeah, so just so you know, you are the first interview that I have done that has the reach to spread the message of the Nobody Way Foundation. The website will be live either tonight or tomorrow. I just gave you approval.
Wow, that's so exciting.
So
I'm really honored.
Yeah, you're the first. I've been holding this back, and what a great time to promote it. You know, it's a bad time to promote it, but a great time to promote it. And, you know, like I said, I spoke about it on podcasts, but I always said something's coming. And now we ready to talk about it. And so.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Modern Salon is honored. I'm so happy to hear that. And just what you said, it's a tough time to launch anything because there's so much distraction, but we need to look in the right direction too. So you're giving us something to focus on, so that we do hone in on the message that is gonna, you know, take us the right way.
Yeah, like I fundraise every year. I raise money every year, and I donate my time in education, and the money made off the ticket sales I donate. But nobody talks about it. I don't talk about it. I don't say nothing. I just do it, and the money goes away, and that's that. And I said, if I could continue to do that for somebody else, why not do it the Nobody Way? And so, you know, it's one of those things where it's time. It's time that, you know, people look at me more than just a talent. Look at me for what I bring to the table. Look at the other 20 artists that work with me and stand by my side that's all multicultural, that look up to this one African-American man and say, we appreciate what you do for us. Have conversations with them. Talk to them about what I do. I'm not the one that toots my own horn, but if you ask anybody that ever been around me, people have messaged me on Instagram and they like, I wish I could practice more. I done sent doll hits to people for free. I done gave clippers away for free. Why? Because all these companies give this stuff to me for free, but some people ain't in the same position I am. So I thank the companies for sending it to me, but I'd rather turn around and give that gift to somebody else.
And like you said, somebody who really is motivated to use it. If somebody's saying, just like you say to your son, I'm not worried about the outcome, I'm worried about the effort. And if somebody's saying, I want to practice, I really want to put the work in. I mean, that's what it's about, and you're proof positive of that. You know, it seems like an unnatural shift to just go back to talking about your beautiful work, but can you leave us with just a little bit of what, maybe what, as we are all coming, as salons are reopening, people are coming back to work, what do you think we're going to be seeing a lot, John? What, you know, we're a hair brand. We want to know what's going to be happening with hair, what's going to be happening in barbering, and what's going to be happening in finishing.
So
no pressure to.
I think what we're going to see, honestly, as the social engagement goes up, you're going to see the beauty salons and barbershops start getting back busy like they were. As the COVID cases start to simmer, you're going to start to see all that happen. You know, people been in the house, people want to get out. You know, guys love to look great for women, women love to look great for guys. And it's just, you know, and so once that social engagement start to move around, I think you're going to start to see the business go back to booming. I do also think in this time, we're going to see a lot of independent suites pop up, and not just because of the situation, but you're going to see a lot of people try to start their own independent businesses and become more ownerships, because that's what's happening. We need more ownership in order to deliver the way we want to. And then for stylists that deal with clients that don't want to come into the big salons anymore because they have children or they have elderly parents, they have, you know, they're afraid. I think that's going to force other stylists to go into suites, and same with barbershops. And it's sad, but it's also great on the other hand. Like, it's a catch-22 all the way around, but I think we're going to, I personally feel like we're going to see the best part of our industry now, because you're going to have the ability to see the barbers be taken more professional, because we are forced to be more professional, from booking appointments and understanding that people are paying you for your time, not your service. And the service is just a bonus coverage. 90% of what we do is mental, not physical. The 10% is physical when we do hair. So I think you're going to see that rise come up, and people respect the industry a whole lot more, because if you look at the media coverage around it, commercials now are talking about how people had bowl cuts during the time of COVID. And it's like, the world sees us as an important business, so we have to see ourselves as that. And once we start recognizing that, the beauty industry is going to be back on top all over again.
Oh, those are inspiring words. I'm happy to hear you say that, and I'm really happy you chose beauty as a career path so that we could have this conversation. And I know we'll be talking a lot more, but John, thank you so much. Thank you for sitting down with me and talking, and I look forward to doing a lot more of it in the future.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity. I appreciate the platform, and, you know, I appreciate being chosen as Modern Salon Top 100 Industry Game Changers a few years back. And I didn't take that lightly, and I'm going to continue to be Top 100 Industry Game Changer every year that I'm alive.
Oh, thank you, John. Thanks so much.
Thank you.